Eric Richards, LBLN, here at the first annual Safe School Summit brought to you by Embassy Consulting Services. This was a summit for law enforcement as well as people in the community to come together to talk about things like bullying at schools and school violence. We learned a few things too. Take a look.
So this summit really is a culmination of many, many years of passion that my wife and I have had in regards to school safety. The bulk of my career coming from the Long Beach Police Department, the bulk of my wife's career working as a former program director for a human relations organization is really centered around building and maintaining safe, respectful, and inclusive school communities. And so we thought, in light of some of the high-profile tragedies that have occurred throughout our country, let's take this opportunity in our hometown of Long Beach, a town that we really, really love, to bring together a diverse group of stakeholders from both the law enforcement, education, and mental health professions to spend a day talking about school safety and what that looks like, what does that feel like, what does that sound like, and give the participants and the attendees an opportunity to walk away with some education, some awareness, and some skills. As we heard throughout the day, it's a multi-pronged approach to school safety. No one entity, no one person is responsible. It does, in fact, take a collective effort. And so we are very proud. This was our first summit. We had about 150 attendees, and we just see this growing, hopefully next year to be a bigger event.
Right. You touched in one of your questions on one of your slides. You touched on emotional safety and physical safety. So for our viewers, I'd like you to explain the difference between the two.
Absolutely. So we know, I think most of us are familiar with the physical aspects of school safety, and that's the physical harm. And that's usually what gets the attention when there's a significant event like a school shooting. But what is just as important, if not more important, are the things that happen every day on every school campus in this country. And those are the issues around bullying. Those are the issues about people feeling excluded, not feeling connected. And so social emotional learning is really looking at different aspects around social awareness, connectedness, to really ensure that we're providing a safe environment, because in order for learning to take place, real learning, it has to take place in a safe environment. And the big, large shootings, those are usually anomalies, but the stuff that's happening every day, the school that's always alone, the student that's always alone, the student who's always eating alone, the student who just doesn't feel connected or has no friends, those are the issues that I think that are perhaps more important than the physical aspects of school safety.
Right. You touched also about the impact social media has had on the children these days. What advice do you have for students who are dealing with issues on social media and are being bullied per se? What do you say to them?
Yeah, I think my message is the same message we tell our 4 children, and have told our 4 children over the years with the proliferation of social media, is be responsible. Be responsible in the things that you say, in the things that you do, and think twice before you hit that send button.
We as a community have to stand up and tell everyone around us, whether it's our neighbors, our kids, that this will not be accepted under any circumstances. You heard some kids talking about the question of, I don't want to be a quote-unquote snitch. That culture's got to go away. Just recently, I did an event with victims of murdered children. And if you ask one of them, many of them, who the crimes have been unsolved in the region, and you ask them what they think about somebody who doesn't want to come forward and talk about something that has occurred, we're a community, and we have to stand up for each other. And it starts with, if somebody does something wrong, you come forward and you talk about it, so that somebody that's a criminal doesn't think they can hide behind that culture of, if you snitch, there's something wrong with you. No, there's something wrong with you because you committed the crime. So that's who needs to feel like they did something bad. The Long Beach Police Department does a lot of work when it comes to mental illness, from working with organizations like the Guidance Center. We have mental evaluation teams that work closely with our police officers on the front lines. When we have a situation where we're dealing with the school, we're hoping And what we see is that the Long Beach Unified School District has a good counseling program. So we're hoping that the kids are seeking mental assistance through them. But if they're not, and there's a gap there, that's where we come in with our mental evaluation teams. And we're ready to assist whenever we can. And then collectively, we try and figure out how to get either the student and the parents the help that they may need. If you dial 911 or you dial our 7-digit line, 435-6711, you can say that you want to report information anonymously. We also are part of an organization where there's a tip line. And if you choose to, you can leave information there anonymously as well.
Okay, some very useful information there. Two things that I wanted to touch on really quick. Number one, students, if you see something, say something. The days of snitches getting stitches are over with, basically. And the second thing I wanted to remind is parents out there that if your child is involved in anything of an illicit activity, making threats on social media, you can be held civilly liable for your child's behavior. So those two things I want you to remember there. You want more information on this story? Of course, you can visit us on longbeachlocalnews.com. In Long Beach, Eric Richards, Long Beach Local News.